Hello friends, welcome to Honeyacres Homestead, where we are seeking to be self-sufficient yet fully reliant on the Lord. Today I am here to talk to you about dairy goats. It is fall here on the farm, and what that means for us is that it's time to get these goats bred so that they can be pregnant through the winter and have their babies in the spring. I think that this is a good time. If you are considering dairy goats, this is a really good time to think about getting into them in the fall. This is the time where you could go get yourself some does and a buck and get those does bred, and you can kickstart your milking career in the spring when those babies are born. So I just wanted to give you kind of a bit of a background of how long we've been doing this and some tricks that we've learned to make this more doable over the years. We started with dairy goats. It was our first livestock thing that we had ever had, but I really wanted to learn how to raise goats so that we could have raw milk. Raw goat milk is so much easier for you to digest. It has lots of wonderful enzymes that are completely killed off in pasteurized milk. It has much more vitamins and minerals in it compared to store-bought milk. She's trying to eat me. It's not very nice. So I had a strong desire to figure this out so that we could have this great superfood milk for our family. We at the time had very young children, I think maybe 3, 4, and 5, or 2, 3, and 4. Anyway, really, our kids were very little. So what I would do is I'd march the kids down to the milk barn with me in the morning, and we'd sing little songs and we'd milk the goat, and then 12 hours later I'd come back again. I thought that, well, you have to milk the goat every 12 hours. Like they tell you that with dairy animals, with cows and goats, milk them every 12 hours. So I did that for a couple years. And I think that is probably it could potentially be a big deterrent for people who have busy schedules, which, let's face it, pretty much all of us have schedules that are a little bit too busy for our comfort. And thinking about adding in something like milking an animal every 12 hours can basically seem too much of a ball and chain, or something that you just can't fit into your schedule. So even though I did that for the first couple years, and it honestly is the most productive way to use your goat, that is where if you milk every 12 hours, you are gonna get the most out of them. You're gonna get a ton of milk. You're gonna be maximizing their potential if you milk every 12 hours. But I have found that I would rather not. So over the years, I have learned some tricks to make the dairy goat milking schedule more doable for me. So one thing I've learned is that the moms will continue to nurse their babies for a long time. I mean, my goats have, at least. I have had moms that are still nursing 6-month-old babies. And what that means is I can use that, because if the mom is not nursing a baby and you're not milking the mom, then she will stop producing milk, because her body will say, it's not needed anymore, I'll stop producing milk. But if you're able to keep a baby in there that's nursing, then it is a way for her milk production to continue without you having to be milking her twice a day or even every day. So what I have done, as long as I have baby girls, because you can only keep the little baby boys in with the mom and the sisters for a certain amount of time, and then they get to an age where you don't want accidental breeding. So as long as you have little girl babies, or even if you have a wether, you can keep them with the mom for months and months. And what that does is it allows you to say, you know what, I want to milk tomorrow morning, so I'm going to separate the babies from the mom. The mom is going to go ahead and keep producing milk, but you get to take that milk in the morning, and then you can put the mom back with the babies. And then the babies nurse during the day. They keep her milk production up. The babies get a lot of extra milk, which is obviously going to be good for them too. And then you just separate them when you want to have milk again. If you have to go on vacation or you're sick, you simply keep the babies with the mom during that time and you don't milk that day. But the mom is still producing that milk for the babies, so her production stays intact. So that is one tactic that I've been able to implement here, is keeping the babies with the mom longer so that it gives me more of flexibility during that time to keep that mom producing a good amount of milk, but I don't have to be the one to be milking her all the time. Another thing is, you honestly just do not have to milk a goat twice a day. You have to be careful if the goat is a big, heavy producer. You don't want her to go too long and get too full to where she's uncomfortable and might have problems like a blown teat or mastitis or different things. But if you're monitoring your goat, you can taper her down to where you're milking her once a day and she fills up, and then she has a day's worth of milk, and then you milk her and then she fills up for you the next day, and you can do a once a day milking. So I just tell you this so that you understand it's not set in stone that you have to milk a goat twice a day every 12 hours. There are ways to work with your goat so that you can still have that great milk for your family without all of the stress and maybe the stress and just the feeling like it's impossible to do it. So when we got goats, like I said, we had never had livestock before, and we made mistakes. We learned a lot. It was by far, like, it was an incredible learning experience and growing experience, and through the years we have learned a lot. We have learned a lot how to better care for the goats, their nutrition needs, we've become better at spotting potential problems and reacting to it correctly and faster. And these are things that there's no shortcut to, though. You have to put the time in, you have to put the experience in so that you can develop those skills. They're not just, YouTube it and learn it like this. It takes time, it takes learning goats. So I encourage you, if you are on the fence or strongly considering getting into dairy goats, that you give it a try. As long as you have the space and the means to house and care for a goat, I encourage you to give it a try, because the more of us that are able to produce our own good, nutritious food, the better. Not only for ourselves, but I know a lot of people that are buying either raw cow milk or raw goat milk because they're not able to have it at their house, but they want that for their family. So it could be potentially a way for you to sell it or give it to friends and family and help provide more people with good nutrition. So I hope that this was encouraging to you if you are considering going into this, these goats. And I do plan on doing kind of a follow-up to this video about bare bones milking. Like, what do you really need to get started? We started bare bones. We are a little bit above bare bones right now, but we don't have a big fancy setup. We really don't. You see people who have, amazing milking parlors and all these things. We're not there, but you don't need it. So I will be doing a video soon about what do you need to do just no fuss, no glamour, bare bones milking to get started so that you can see that you can do it. All right? You can do it. So if you have any questions, please send me an email or comment below. There's several ways you can get in touch with me, so don't hesitate. I love to talk about goats. I love to talk about what we're doing. It's worthwhile. It's worth the effort. It's worth the trial and error that it takes to live this life and provide good, healthy, wholesome food for your family in a more self-sustaining way. So thank you for joining me here today at Honey Acres Homestead, and I hope I will see you next time.